Hello, welcome back. I'm happy to see you again. So, I have a lot of requests for basically how to get rid of my accent. Well, I should say, first of all, you should embrace your accent because we all come from beautiful places. But I understand the importance for a lot of you because you do want to be understood when you're taking that TOEFL, IELTS, job interview, whatnot. So there are definitely ways to do this. So we are going to go over what should have been done when we were learning our English. But keep in mind, this happens with everyone, and this can happen with any language. So, what happens is when we start learning a language, and I'm going to talk about English because that's what we're learning, we skip the letter sounds. We start learning those vocabulary words. We start learning how to put them into sentences. We get right into grammar, but we're missing a critical step, and that is the practice of where to move our mouth, tongue, and lips. Because when you're moving them, when you speak English, it's completely different than your own native language. It's a lot of work. And after we do a lot of practicing with our letter sounds in English, you're going to be a little sore because it's like going to the gym and working muscles you haven't worked before. So, this is going to be a little bit frustrating at first, but I promise with lots of practice, it will get better. So, let's first of all talk about accent reduction. So, we also call this accent modification, and this helps us speak more clearly. It focuses on pronunciation of our totally tricky, weird English sounds, and we're learning how to understand where to move our tongue, lips, mouth, everything. So, the goal is definitely we want to practice. This is not something that we practice for an hour and we see immediate results. It's going to take time, just like learning English, like I've explained before. Like when we go to the gym, we're not going to see those big muscles right away, but over time, we will. So, the bad news is this is going to take time. It's going to be a lot of stress on your mouth and tongue, and you might feel a little bit sore at first. But the good news is this is easy to practice. It really, really is because you're not sitting there with a book all day or in front of your computer all day. You can actually multitask, which means you can do different things while you practice. While you're driving to work, dropping the children off at school, on the bus or the train, you can practice because we're practicing how to move our mouth and whatnot. So you can practice while you're typing that email. For example, we're working on the letter B today. I could be writing that email ba 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 while I'm practicing the movement of my mouth. So, on day one, when you start practicing, I highly recommend turning on your recording of device, whatever you have, audio, unless you want to take a video of yourself, but at least get the audio. Record today. In 2 weeks, record again. Compare the two to check your progress. Now, don't go into this thinking your accent is going to be gone in 2 weeks. It's not going to happen. So don't set yourself up for that. But what you will see if you practice a lot is you will see results. But again, if you're only practicing like 5-10 minutes a day on this, you're not going to see a whole lot in 2 weeks. So make sure you are practicing, practicing, practicing. And you can practice with your children if you have any because you can make silly faces while you practice. But in any event, let's move on. We are going to practice D, T, P, and B. I might have in the past made a video of these letters, but if not, we're doing it again. So these letters, and I have to say them slowly because they sound so close together. They sound like the same, really, but they are critical for clear English pronunciation because most of our words have these letters in them. They can be some of the most confusing because they sound alike. So we have to practice them to know the difference. All right, so let's get started. D. We're going to put our tongue on the ridge behind the top front teeth. And what I mean by that is don't put it clearly on the roof of your mouth. Oh, blah, blah, blah. We can't make the D sound doing that. So behind your front teeth, there is a ridge. We're not going all the way to the roof of our mouth, but to that ridge part. So I've got my tongue right there. Your vocal cords, which are right here, are going to make some noise. This is not a silent letter. So, for example, da, 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 da. Now, let's practice some words. Dog, dad, did, day, door. Now, let's move into a sentence. Dad did a good job today. Da 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 da. Dog, dad did a good job today. So when you practice this, always start with the sound first, move your way up to the words, and then practice into the sentence. All right. Now, T. This is where it might get a little confusing. We are going to use the same movement, exactly the same movement that we did with the letter D, but we're not making any noise because it's a whisper. There's no vocal cord vibration. It's quiet. So top, take, time, T10. So again, with D, da, 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 we're making some noise. We're at the party. Da, 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 da. Okay? But with T, we're at the library because we're whispering. Take the time to talk to Tom. Whisper. Now, it's very important to know the difference because if I made that noise, it's going to come out dake, the dime, do, doc, do, dom. I don't want to do that. So T, whisper, D, da, 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 da. We're making some noise. So these are two letter sounds, same movement, but we have to know when to make noise and when to be quiet. Okay, P. We're going to take our lips and we're going to put them together. And then we're going to release with a puff of air. Pa, 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 pa. We're not making any noise, no vocal cord vibration. Pen, pop, pig, pick, paper. Please pass the purple pen. Pa, 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 pa. Shh. No noise, like we're at the library and we have to be quiet. But B, same mouth position as the letter P, but we're going to make some noise like we're at the party. Ba, ba, ba. Bat, big, ball, book, bag. Ben bought a big blue bag. Again, B, we're going to make some noise. Ba, ba, ba. P, pa, 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 pa. Same movement, but a whisper. And again, we want to know the difference because it could change the whole meaning pronunciation of what we're trying to say. Instead of saying bat, I could say pat. So we want to be careful. Okay. So let's practice dad, tad. Dad, tad. We want to practice so we know the difference when we're making that noise and when we're not. Do, to. Day, tay. Bat, pat. Big, pig. Bag, pag. And you can always put your fingers to your throat and feel your vocal cords move if you need some extra help with practicing on that. So again, practice how the words sound alike, dad, tad, so you can get used to making that noise and knowing when to be quiet. Okay. Another thing to help is you can listen to other people speak. Don't just listen to me, although it's a huge compliment to me. You want to listen to other people. It's very important so you can hear all kinds of sounds, different accents, and whatnot, and it'll become more clear for you. When you first start out, you want to speak slowly and clearly, because if not, you're not going to know if you're getting the D or the T sound. If I'm speaking so fast, I'm going to get confused with what it is I'm trying to say. And then, of course, practice the minimal pairs: bat, pat, do, to, so you can get used to the difference. All right, let's go over some more words. Dare, deal, done, drum, dance. Day, tay, dare, tear, deal, teal. David danced during dinner. Let's go over some T sounds. Table, 10, tip, tail, tool. Tip, dip, 10, done. Tool, dual. Look at tool and dual. I have to be very careful to know when to be quiet and when to make noise because they're so close together. Tool, the dual. Tom took 10 tiny tomatoes. Let's go over some P sounds. Pen, pie, paint, place, plan. Notice how slow I'm going, because if I went fast, it might be bend by paint, blah, 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 all over the place where I'm making that B sound, and I have to be careful. Pat, bat, pat, bat, pie, buy. Notice how close they are. Pie, buy. So I have to be careful to know when to whisper and when to make noise. Plan, ban. Peter painted a purple pumpkin. Ooh, lots of P sounds in there. Okay, last one for the B. Ba, ba, ba. Bat, bake. Bag, bell, boat. Bat, pet. Bake, pake. That's another close one. Bake, pake. Boat, pote. Bella baked banana bread. I know it's going to be hard at first. Don't give up. Just keep practicing and you got this. So again, thank you for the suggestion. We'll keep those letter sounding videos coming. And if you have anything else, any questions, concerns, you know where to reach me. Take care.